Meghan Sussex marks International Day of the Girl with Princess Lilibet in a heartfelt garden moment of love, legacy, and empowerment. It was a moment that transcended simplicity, a mother and daughter framed by sunlight, surrounded by the serenity of nature, standing hand in hand at the edge of a quiet garden stream. Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, chose not a palace balcony nor a press podium to celebrate International Day of the Girl, but the soft stillness of her own home garden, a sanctuary where real love, real values, and real lessons are passed from one generation to the next. The image said everything words could not. Meghan stood barefoot in soft ivory linen, her sleeves rolled gently, her hair tied back with casual grace, beside her daughter, the radiant little Princess Lilibet, dressed in pastel pinks that mirrored the innocence and promise of girlhood. Their hands intertwined as they looked into the gentle rippling water, a symbol of reflection, of growth, of possibility. It was both ordinary and extraordinary, a mother teaching her daughter that strength and softness can coexist, that femininity is not fragility, but fire wrapped in grace. And then came Meghan's message, a declaration that soared beyond the photo. Those few words encapsulated everything Meghan has stood for. The vision of a woman who has never let titles or tabloid noise dim her devotion to female empowerment. It wasn't just a post. It was a mother's vow, a mentor's call, and a queen's quiet anthem to every young girl watching the world reshape itself. The tenderness between Meghan and her daughter radiated with symbolism. It wasn't about luxury or spectacle. It was about legacy, the passing of values from a woman who has endured storms to a child who will one day walk with the same resilience. Meghan's posture, slightly bent toward her little girl, whispered of guidance and protection. Her smile, soft yet sure, carried a promise that Lilibet's journey would be different, freer, safer, stronger, because her mother chose courage over conformity. The lush greenery surrounding them spoke of life's fullness, the grass thick and alive, trees swaying with a gentle Californian breeze. Sunlight filtered through the leaves, creating golden halos on their hair, as if nature itself bowed in reverence to this moment between two generations of Sussex women. Meghan, in her calm and steady way, seemed to be showing her daughter that womanhood begins not in crowns or courts, but in kindness, curiosity, and confidence. This was not merely a tribute to International Day of the Girl. It was an embodiment of it, a message that echoed louder than any speech, that the true power of women begins at home, in how they are loved, spoken to, taught, and seen. For Meghan, this post was more than celebration, it was continuation of her lifelong mission to uplift and empower women. From her early days, writing protest letters as a young girl to her global advocacy as Duchess, Meghan has never stopped championing the rights and voices of women. And here she stood, decades later, holding the hand of her own daughter, ensuring that her fight becomes her daughter's inheritance. The symbolism ran deep. Meghan's light-coloured outfit represented purity of purpose, calm strength, and renewal, while Lilibet's pink attire radiated innocence, hope, and the blossoming future. Barefoot in the soil of their own making, they stood grounded, literally and figuratively, reminding the world that you don't need a throne to lead. You just need integrity and love. Every detail, from Meghan's relaxed stance to the gentle tilt of Lilibet's head, painted a portrait of peace, growth, and generational power. There was a poetic rhythm to the image, mother and daughter, sunlight and shadow, legacy and future. And as Meghan's words travelled across the internet, they carried more than sentiment. They carried sincerity, that unwavering belief that every girl, regardless of where she's born, deserves a chance to dream, to speak, and to be heard. What made the moment even more profound was its authenticity. Meghan didn't frame her message with grandiosity or glamour. She shared it with softness, the most radical form of power there is. It was a snapshot of quiet revolution, a woman leading by example, raising a daughter to be both gentle and fierce, reminding the world that empowerment begins not in institutions, but in intention. As thousands of girls read her words, they didn't just hear a duchess speaking. They heard a woman, a mother, a global sister saying, "You matter, your voice matters, your dreams are valid." It was a gentle roar disguised as a whisper. And somewhere in that garden, as birds sang and light danced through the trees, Princess Lilibet, the daughter of two people who defied convention for love and truth, stood with her mother, absorbing the kind of lesson that no royal protocol could ever teach. That being a girl is not a limitation, but a superpower. Through this beautiful post, Meghan transformed a simple International Day of the Girl message into something timeless. A vision of hope, a portrait of legacy, a promise written in light. And in that tender garden moment, barefoot, free and fearless, Meghan Sussex reminded the world that the future truly is female, and that it's already in the best hands, hers and her daughter's. And as the sun dipped lower into the California horizon, its golden light wrapping mother and daughter in a final soft glow, the scene felt almost celestial, a quiet proclamation that the future was already unfolding in their joined hands. Meghan Sussex, standing barefoot beside her little girl, had done what generations of women have fought to make possible. She had built a world where her daughter could walk unafraid. In that serene garden, the words she shared weren't just written for the world, they were spoken into the very heart of her child. "This world is yours," she had said, and you could feel it, alive in the air, echoing through the leaves, carried by the whisper of the breeze. It was a promise that transcended language, that every girl, no matter her skin, voice, or story, deserved to rise without apology. Meghan didn't just celebrate International Day of the Girl, she embodied it. With grace in her step and conviction in her heart, she turned a universal message into something intimate, real, and eternal. The image of her and Princess Lilibet, hands clasped, spirits intertwined, became more than a photograph. It became a symbol of legacy, of motherhood, of womanhood redefined through love and purpose. As dusk settled, one truth shone brighter than the fading light. Meghan Sussex's message was not only to the girls of today, but to the generations yet to come. That wherever they stand, in a garden, in a classroom, or on a world stage, they will remember this moment and know that they too have the right to dream, to lead, and to own their destiny. For this world truly is theirs, because she helped make it so.
Wow, wow, wow. Wow, that was a great submission. And to all our peculiar and amazing Sussex family, thank you all for working with us in this juncture, for supporting Ari and Megan. And do not forget to subscribe, like, and put a comment. Bye bye. See you in our next episode.